I got a question today from Clifford about eclipses and shamanism and what would be shamanic insights about the eclipses. And I thought about that. I usually use an astrological perspective to talk about eclipses because they are astronomical phenomenon. And so they relate to planets and stars and moons and gravity and light and positioning. And it seems that astrology is a wonderful way to talk about that. But when we get to the shamanic side of things, we're using those archetypes of astrology and then also the stories of the different cultures around the moon and the sun and the earth. And then what are our own guides and spirits and power animals? What are they telling us? So I thought I should ask mine, how would you like to answer this question for Clifford? And for anybody else who might be wondering about it, because I call what I do a type of earth-based medicine, even though I'm so focused on the stars so often. I think I'd like to speak to it from the Earth's perspective, from Mama Earth's perspective. She has this child that constantly orbits her and is always looking at her with the same face, saying, Mommy, Mommy, look at me, look at me. Can you see me? Look, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to become the new moon and I'm hiding. Peekaboo. Or, look, I'm going to do this now and show up with this full bright face. Or maybe I'm going to be mysteriously hidden, partly in your shadow, a quarter moon. Or maybe I'm going to be dancing with your shadow, an eclipse. So when this emotional aspect of ourselves, this child of the earth, this rather unique moon, when it comes to moons, if you study moons, you'll know ours is pretty interesting and rather fortuitous in its particular way of orbiting us, allowing for the ocean tides and this interesting 29 and a half day cycle that we've all synced up to. When this little being dances between the earth and the sun, or has the earth dance between it and the sun, those are the eclipse times, then we are triggering something important for us to take a look at. And we need those triggers. Otherwise, we get mundanely into the day-to-day tasks and we forget about the power and the importance of ritual in our lives to acknowledge the feelings, the thoughts, the changes that happen around us. So we can look at eclipses as a process. When the Earth is creating a shadow on the moon, we call that a lunar eclipse. This recent one was what we call a penumbral eclipse because we never fully shadowed the moon. The moon danced on the edge of the outer shadow, which is why it was never obscured. It just got dimmed a bit. So that is reminding us to stop and look at our shadows, about our future, our past, even how we're living day to day. It is a way to remember that no matter how everything continues on, no matter how we choose to participate, everything continues on. But there are times to just stop and acknowledge, to open up and ask. With this being a lunar eclipse, I'm going to say that from a shamanic perspective, I would look at it as a time to look at what's going on in my heart, what's going on inside of me. What do I need to know? What signs have I been ignoring? What messages have I been getting and not honoring? Does my heart need tending to its hurts? Or do I have like a belly grrr going on? How are my emotions playing through me? How can I get back into right alignment with that, with I need? Do I need to do an earth ceremony in order to reconnect to the earth and all the rich wisdom and calming and the personal medicine, the ancestral medicine that is contained within the earth. You see what I mean? It's a slowing down. It's a going within, and it's an honoring of how are you connected to the earth and your own personal earth magic. So there's what a lunar eclipse is. I will make a separate message for you about the solar eclipse. And there's one more thing that I'll say. And I might make a whole separate video about this because I hate long videos. When you are encountering an eclipse, like we are right now, this is being shot on March 25th, 2024. Time is such an elusive thing. We just experienced a lunar eclipse and will be followed in a few weeks by the April 8th solar eclipse. Happens to be a total solar eclipse here in the United States and other places on the world here. And so now we're in what I call the eclipse transformation tunnel. This is a potent time for doing some very personal work for shift and change in your life. And you know what? With it happening in what we call an Aries influence in the astrological world, and then depending on what form of shamanism you may follow, what culture that you identify with, you may have a different story about the season that we're in right now. For me, it's just all about spring and the sprouting of new things and growth, and what do you want to nurture and what do you want to tend to? What are you committing to tend to? What are you committing to tend to over the next several months? So for me, it's definitely about that. Like, okay, it's time to kind of clean out the things that are in the way as far as an emotional thing, and identify and commit to the things that I want to have grow, and then allow that to transform through this eclipse transformation tunnel. And let's see what happens on the other side. I hope this was helpful. Cliff, I hope you get a chance to see this. If you do, comment and let me know what you think. And anybody else, if you have a question, please ask it. I am happy to answer. Thank you for watching and subscribing and liking and sharing, and hope someday I get to work with you. Bye-bye.